So now please join me in welcoming tonight's guest. Since the premiere of this show 3 years ago, he has already won a SAG Award, a Critics' Choice Award, and has been nominated for 2 Emmy Awards and Golden Globe Awards for his performance. He is also a Tony-nominated actor who's performed some of our most classic works, including Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf and The Coast of Utopia. Please welcome David Harbour.
What's up, everybody? Stranger Things Season 3! You guys are super in for it. I said on my Instagram, like earlier today, best season yet. And there were a couple jerks who were like, yeah, whatever, man, you have to say that.
No.
Yeah, you're contractually obliged to say that, man. This is by far, now look, it's a little different, okay? It is a little different, you'll see in one. Once you get to episode 8, it is, well, it's all good, but episode 8 is a masterpiece. This is the best season yet. Mm-hmm. And I didn't think we could do any better, but this is the best season yet.
Say you're contractually obligated to say that on your Instagram. I don't think they understand how contracts work.
It's true.
Has that ever been written into someone's contract? You must praise this season above all
look,
others.
you do feel a pressure to promote things that you're not the proudest of sometimes, yes. One does occasionally feel that pressure.
Has that happened to you?
And this is not coming from that pressure. This is coming from sheer joy, love, and truth. But it's also Hopper's fattest season ever. So if you're not down for Love Handle Hopper, you're going to be disappointed.
People love Dad Bod Hopper.
Yeah, well, this is like double Dad Bod Hopper. It really is. I mean, he's outdone himself this season. Look, he's not popping pills anymore because he's got a daughter. He's not getting drunk as much, and he's not smoking as many cigarettes. So what's he doing with all that anger? He's sitting on his couch eating chips and salsa. And when you do that for an entire year, your waist goes from a 36 to a solid 40.
Wait, you look great. So are you padded in these episodes?
Thank you. No, I'm not padded at all. That's method acting right there. Ladies and gentlemen, I suffer for my art. I ate a tremendous amount of donuts. Yes, no, I suffer. Thank you. I'm doing a little better. We'll see where I head. But
was that intentional though? You wanted to,
Yeah. I mean, it's we're gonna see him. I mean, the great thing about this show is we get to see these characters grow, and
literally.
Well, clearly you're gonna see that the kids who say it, they're like, we're not kids anymore, and they're not because Finn Wolfhard is 9 feet tall.
Yes.
And chiseled and a rock god. Go Calpurnia. Oh my God, I shouldn't have said it. I shouldn't have said it. It's like the Beatles. I'm sorry for all the adults in the audience. Just let the children scream. So no, all the kids are changing, all the kids are growing. So the great thing about Hopper too is Hopper started out season 1 a very different guy than he is now. And he's, while he's solving some of the trauma of the death of his daughter, he's also unlocking other traumas in terms of dealing with a teenage child. And in that way, he doesn't have the same coping mechanisms. And so he really is. He's overeating this season. And he's also making some really bad facial hair choices and some also really bad clothing choices.
Was that fun to do, or did you not want to go out while you were shooting this?
No, I don't care. I'm a ridiculous person. I don't really care what I look like in the world. I really do love acting more than anything else to do in life.
Yeah.
If I could just be acting all the time, I think I would. So anything I can do for a character, and especially a beautiful, amazing character like Hopper, I will do. I will say there were days, though, when you wake up on a Sunday and you have nothing to do and you have a huge bushy mustache. and you're like, what have I done with my life? There's this caterpillar on my face. But you live through those days, and you get back to work.
I'm curious because I was just bringing up, it's only been 3 years since Stranger Things came out and kind of took the world by storm, and it came out quietly. Like, I think there were like
Quiet's like the understatement of the year. I mean, this is what I love. Like, I love that you guys love the show, but you were not there the first season.
Oh.
We had a premiere the other night that was like, I mean, it was like bonkers. And I got to tell you, the first premiere we had for season 1, it was like a couple people with like, signs behind us that they'd drawn that day saying Stranger Things to hold up for us to take pictures. And there was like a couple dudes with cameras that clearly Netflix had hired to pretend like people were interested in the show. It was a disaster. And we were like, oh, no one's going to watch this. We really loved it. And then it became this like grassroots thing. Like, it was not hyped. And that to me is the power. And that is truly my belief in this show. It's like, it wasn't hyped. It's not something that's shoved down your throat that you have to watch. It's, it's something that just organically grew from people on Facebook or on Twitter going, have you seen this show? And it just spiraled out of control. And that sort of grassroots movement feels like a movement. It feels like a revolution. And it was really amazing. So it is incredible to see how far the show has gone in terms of the hearts of people, and also how far the show goes. Like, as I say, like it's a bigger season than you've ever seen. I think it's richer in so many ways. And I think the Duffer Brothers are getting better as storytellers, which I can't even believe. But I think they're just getting better and better. And this season is really the culmination of a lot of things. Was there a moment, like during the first season, that you sort of realized it had become a phenomenon, or did it happen slowly where like people started, recognizing you? I mean, you're actually pretty recognizable. You're like one of our most beloved character actors even before this, so I assume you got... No, but I wasn't, I sort of could wander around unnoticed, Mm-hmm. And, but now, it's a very recognizable show. So I try to grow beards and, get really weird and hunched over. But I'm just too big. People are always like, who's that big oh, shit. That's Chief Harbour. And I just did that. I said that, like, you're not supposed to just comment on someone who's tall and say, like, God, did you know you're tall? And I literally just said that to you. Because I'm always caught off guard. Because, I'm sorry, usually actors are not tall. I know, it's true. And you're acting opposite Winona Ryder, who is not tall. Who's not tall, yeah. Who's awesome. Yeah. Awesome. But you've seen those pictures, right? Of like me next to her on set, and it looks like Frodo and Gandalf. Not that she's Frodo, she's a normal-sized person. Yeah. And I'm just this giant Gandalf. Wizard. And I'm growing the beard to prove it. Exactly, to go with it. Start carrying around a staff, maybe. But was there like a time where like... Yeah. I mean, it was pretty early on, I have to say. Really? Like the way that people embraced the show, it was so quick. I have a cellular telephone. Whatever. No, I have and I have about like 100 numbers, of which I text maybe, I have like 15 people that I text. But I have all these numbers in my phone where like I'll meet somebody, it's 6 years ago and at a party or something, and I'll be like, oh man, we should exchange numbers. Yeah, I'm gonna be in Denver, and like, and then, so I have like 100 numbers on my phone. And occasionally I'd have things come out and you get a couple texts, and that weekend when Stranger Things came out, really? All these people I met 6 years ago in Denver, or some driver that I had 8 years ago. It was just Stranger Things expletive. Like holy expletive Stranger Things. Or Stranger Things, oh my God, Stranger Things. Like hundreds of text messages from all these people that I hadn't spoken to in years and years. And I was like, this is really a phenomenon. And then I think the next week there was like a BuzzFeed article, which Stranger Things character are you? Did you take it? Yeah, I took it. Who are you? I got the monster. Which is true. Of course. Did you have to change your number, or?
Yeah, I would think so. What about like cops must love you? Like, do you get out of speeding tickets? Because no one's going to give Hopper a ticket.
I haven't. That's interesting. I haven't done anything truly illegal since the show began. I tried to get out of a speeding ticket once years ago when I had a movie out that didn't do so well called The Green Hornet.
Oh, what is it?
No, look at the awes. Whatever. It's an okay movie, all right?
Yeah, it really is.
Rent it. It's Seth Rogen's adorable. Stop it.
Were you
and I remember going like, hey, I was in The Green Hornet. And he was like, hey, here's a ticket. And so I've never tried that again because that's really embarrassing.
Oh, yeah, that's the worst when
if you try and then they shut you down, that's the worst.
By the way, these fireflies are big fans. They're not bothering me at all.
I don't think they're fireflies. I wish they were fireflies. They're just like horrible black, like you know.
Yeah, I was trying to be positive.
Like mosquitoes or something. Fireflies are like the ones that light up, right?
Yeah. But they're obsessed with you. They're not bothering me at all.
Wow. They're big fans of this show.
Yeah.
That one's dressed as 11.
What is it like, though, when you do become a global phenomenon and then you still have to get back to the work? I mean, there's the pressure to make sure that it's still good, which is why I'm excited. And I've seen the first episode, so I know it's really good. But also, is it you must have people like crowding the sets, or you can't just be anonymous when you're shooting?
Yeah, there's some of that. I mean, we try to hide out in various locations in Atlanta. There was some of that, people coming around. And I mean, of course, it's very nice that people love the show, But I will say that, like, Chief Hopper is far cooler than I am. Like, if you want to get to, and sort of all of us, like, it's lovely that people like us, but like, we're like Voltron. Like, all of us assembled together with a story is far, far greater than the individual lions running around. It's sort of a weird. There you go. Let's just scream and yell now. But I mean, it's nice for people to love what you do, but it also can be a little bit like, I'm just best kind of doing what I do. I'm best like when I'm acting and when I'm playing Chief Hopper. I'm less. David Harbour's far less interesting than Chief Hopper. It's true.
Well, Hopper's pretty fascinating. I mean, he has
Hopper's
demons chasing him around. That's a little hard to beat.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, wait till you see what the shenanigans he's up to in 301.
Well, actually, I want to talk to you about that because I think we all fell in love with Hopper from the beginning, but then season 2 gave us this amazing relationship between him and Eleven, Millie Bobby Brown, who was probably your primary scene partner that season. And what can we sort of expect from 3 with that relationship? I mean, it's tough being the dad of a teenager.
Yeah, so that relationship has severely deteriorated. There was a lot of love in that relationship in season 2, and now she has this thing called a boyfriend. And to a controlling man like Hopper and a father, the last thing in the world that this father wants is for her to be kissing Finn Wolfhard. And so, so as I say, like, Hopper's just like, you'll see in 301, he's just eating chips and salsa, and he is trying to spy on his daughter's shenanigans and is very upset and angry at her. And I mean, he's angry about nothing. I mean, she's growing up. She's becoming a teenager. And so, that's the real fun thing about this show is it's very unexpected. Like, you'll see in 301, like this season has a comedy to it and kind of a lightness that I don't know that we've quite had yet to this degree. And it really, it comes out of these relationships, and it comes out of a depth of these relationships. So we're getting to see Hopper expand in a lot of ways. And so he has this problem with his daughter, and it's going to force him to uncover what he needs to know about himself as a man again. And it's going to force him along the path of trying to get advice from the only other single parent in Hawkins, who does a very good job raising her 2 boys. And so he's going to seek some advice and some counsel there, and that will lead him to a whole new bunch of shenanigans.
We are dying to see you guys together, but you know, Bob was such a nice guy. But I really
Such a nice guy.
I know, Bob. It was like I think.
No, such a nice guy.
Well, I think everyone had that reaction of like, who is this guy coming between these two? And oh, geez.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, he's such a nice
Sean
guy.
asked, it's so adorable. Yeah, no, it's true, you know. I mean, and that's the fun thing. And you'll see, I mean, I don't want to ruin anything for you, but you know, these are two really interesting characters, and the Duffers will never give you anything like, you know, we are in response to the fans, I think, which is such a wonderful thing about the show. Like the Duffers pay attention to that, and they, you know, will quench your thirst in various ways for various things, and yet they'll do it in ways that are very unexpected. Like you'll get something, and then you'll be thrown off in a certain way. And I think this season does that brilliantly. Mm-hmm. Like you get a lot of stuff that you want, and then you get stuff that you didn't even know you could want at that point, and things that are very surprising and very wonderful. So yeah, I'm just excited for you to see. I mean, I'm so boring compared to 301. Like you guys are gonna watch 301 and you're gonna be like, this is good.
What is it like for you to get a script? Because in addition to being on the show, you're a fan of the show. Yeah. So do you just devour it? And sometimes are you even like, oh, I can't believe they did that?
I just read my own lines, and then it's a page turner. I mean, it's a huge page turner.
Yeah.
The only thing that I wish that I didn't have to, so I could be surprised when I watch it. But I still am. Like, I still forget some of the stuff that we shoot after we've shot, because it's kind of a blur. Like, we're down there in Atlanta, we're shooting a lot of stuff, and then I'll rewatch the show, and I'm still moved by this story, even though I know what's going to happen. I mean, I think that's the replayability of it, too. Like, as you say, again, I'm hyping this episode up, but episode 8 is a masterpiece. And I myself have watched it. I get it early. Yeah, that's right. First year this year that I get it early. I watched episode 8 already 3 times because it's not even the content of how it's not even the what, it's the how that is so moving that every time it's like listening to your favorite song. Yeah. Like you get to that chorus and you just like, you know, and watching the show has that same quality for me. It's like a great album or something. You just want to like put it on. You want to like watch that scene again. So
no one is going to go out for 4th of July.
I know.
Everyone's going to be in rewatching.
Buy fireworks and and barbecue stuff, please. We don't want to ruin July 4th, but you can just do it on July 6th. You just change the entire thing.
What's been the most, I'm curious, like the most challenging part of playing this role? Because I have to think just things like getting covered in sticky black tar or something like that. That's got to get old.
In the tunnels, you mean? Yeah. The most difficult thing this season, and I will be very curious about your opinion, because it does happen in 301. There is one scene in 301 where I had to say a line, and I never, I'm usually very serious and curmudgeonly on set, and I have to say this line, and I could not stop laughing, and we didn't get a close-up take of it. You'll see, like, when it's done a little bit wide, because I could not say the line for an hour.
Really?
For an hour, I was laughing so hard. The Dover brothers were laughing behind the monitor. Our first AD was laughing. Our camera op was laughing. To the point where I was like a child. I mean, I would go, and I just laugh. And Finn, it's with Finn, and it's a scene with Finn and Millie. And he goes, and Finn was like, come on, man, you got this. And I was like, you're a 14-year-old child. And I'm 43 years old, and I've been doing this for 25 years. And I'm being coached by a child. It was very embarrassing. It's the hardest experience I've ever had on Stranger Things.
Has that ever happened to you before? Like, I'm trying to imagine you on, like, The Equalizer cracking up. Yeah,
no. I mean, yeah, it's happened before. I mean, like, on some stuff. But on Stranger Things, I'm usually very serious because the kids are always, like, messing around. And I'm always, like, the hammer. Like, I come in, I'm like, you guys know your lines? And they get all scared and stuff. So I don't normally do that. And for some reason, you'll see this scene in 301. I think at the time, I was like, I can't believe that Hopper is doing this. And it just struck me as so funny. And I just couldn't stop laughing. So there's a first time for everything.
You say the kids that you're intimidating to them, but is that true? I mean, like, they seem to love you a lot, so.
Yeah.
Yes, they love you, or yes, you intimidate them?
Yeah. No, I mean, I can no, they do. I mean, it broke down a little bit, but also like I can still drop the hammer, man. Like there was a funny thing too where we were on set and I think they were all messing around and like, it's actually the duffers that I think have a harder time.
Yeah.
Because they're dealing with them all the time. I'm a little bit apart. And so I think it was Ross who came up to me and was like, hey man, the kids are, I was like, don't worry pal, I got this. I was like, hey, what's up guys? And they're all like, oh, hey man.
So you're willing to go there?
Oh, yeah. No. I mean, again, as I say, like, to me, the most important thing in the world is the experience that you have. So, like, as much as we have a good time shooting it, I'm always aware that I'm working for you in service of an audience. I'm never doing something because it's like, oh, this is really cool. Like, it's like, I want this to be perfect so that you will watch it and feel something like so big. And so when the kids, but it's the truth. It's the truth. When the kids start messing around, I remind them of that. I'm like, we have a duty to the people that love this show that is serious, and you can change lives with this stuff. You know what I mean? You can inspire people with this stuff. I believe in that. I've said that about acting, before in crazy ways, and people make fun of me for it, but I am deadly earnest. I do believe that anything you do in this world, you can work at, the fast food joint, and if you serve with a pride and with a dedication and in service of others, you can contribute to an inspiring world. And I feel like it's the same thing with acting or arts. If you go into the arts with that intention, then you can heal the world. You really can. There you go, SAG-AFTRA. That one's for the union.
You mentioned that the duffers do sort of listen to the fans, or they like to sort of give the fans what they want to a certain degree. I mean, how much attention do you pay, like, on social media? Do you read crazy theories and, kind of laugh, or maybe you go, oh my God, they got it right?
I mean, I sort of was for a while, and now I'm a little bit. I have problems with social media, so I've kind of like, it's a funny little thing, social media. And I want to give people stuff on it because I feel like they deserve that, but I don't know if it's, and not with Stranger Things. I feel like the Stranger Things fandom is extremely lovely and extremely generous and stuff like that, but I feel like people can also be, not so great on social media, and it sort of gives them license to feel like they can be cruel in a way that I don't. I'm still a human being, and I think that that's what I'm experiencing is like things. It's a crazy world when you have millions and millions of people that want to share their opinion about you. And like what they think of you. Because there's, trust me, there's 98% of them just sheer adoration and love, but that 2%, it hurts. So I've sort of changed my relationship with social media a little bit recently. But I love the fact that fans create art for the show. I love the fact that you guys have theories. Well, by the way, one of my favorite fan theories ever was last season, we did a Super Bowl commercial, and it announced that, so Super Bowl's in like late January, it announced that the season was coming out on Halloween. And there was a fan who got online and figured out with the cuts in the trailer and the time sequences and the numbers and the way that this frame was turned into, that we were actually going to release it on March 1st, not October 31st. That we were lying to you and it was coming March 1st. And I mean, that fan was sorely disappointed. Like it was coming on Halloween. But I love the fact that he developed this entire fan theory around the fact that we were going to release it 6 months early.
Well, let's be honest, you were going to, but then he caught you.
He caught us, and so we pulled it back. We went back to Halloween,
Am I crazy, or did you not, officiate a fan's wedding?
I officiated a fan's wedding. Yes,
did you do it as Hopper?
I did. I wore the outfit and everything.
That's so nice. nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to see like Hopper reading the vows and everything.
I don't know that you would.
Did he get like choked up? He'd probably be a really
No,
good
you know what I
officiant.
did was I gave I did the service, like I wrote a thing and everything.
Really?
It was like, whatever, it was a bunch of dad jokes. You know how it was. It was like, I'm used to performing a lot of civil services in Hawkins, Indiana, or something, whatever. And then, but I didn't do this, which I forgot. It was only like a 10-minute service, but the bride walks down.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit nervous, and I didn't tell people to be seated. So I started in on the thing, and everyone was standing the whole time. And then they got married and everything, and then everybody walked away, and it was, So if you ever perform a wedding, tell people they can sit down. That's my big advice to you.
Was everyone there a fan of Stranger Things, or were there people who just thought you were this nice sheriff?
98%, but there was 2% that just hated my performance in particular, and were giving me the stink eye. No, I'm kidding. They were all lovely. They were all
good,
lovely.
Good.
Yeah, big fans of the show.
So, I mean, we've sort of talked about this, but this is such a phenomenon. It's scary, it's funny, it's so heartfelt. But why do you think it has, got such a reaction out of people? It's tapped into so many things. People they don't just like it. They really love it. They take it very personally, as you said. I mean, part of that can just be great storytelling, but I think it's a little more than that.
I don't.
Really?
I mean, it's funny because, I honestly, I just think that it's so well done.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Game of Thrones thing. Who cares about dragons? And a nerd like me does. But in general, it's just the fact that they tell their story so well. And this is, there's kitschy sort of hooks with the 80s and things like that. But I can't think of another show kind of recent. Well, there's tons, whatever. But I always say stupid things like this, and then I regret them later. It's I can't think of another show. Yes, I can. But you say like Steve Harrington, you say Chief Hopper, you say, right? You say Mike Wheeler, you say Will Byers. I'm not, okay. But they immediately conjure very distinct images in your mind, and you can immediately differ. You're never like, who's that kid is that this kid that thinks that way or that kid? They're very distinct, the characters. You care about the relationships. The storytelling is you care about the plot, but you also care about the character's response to the plot. And these things are really hard to do. They're just really hard to do. So it's again, it's the how.
Yeah.
It's like I don't love heavy metal music, but Black Sabbath's first album to me is like a masterpiece because of the how. Mm-hmm. It's not like I love metal. It's I just love when someone does something so well. Mm-hmm. And again, I can't speak highly enough about these Duffer Brothers. I just think they do this thing extremely well.
We're about to watch the final episode of season 2, but go into season 3, which is set in 1985.
Yes, summer of 1985.
You were probably their age around then.
I was 10 years old, so I was a little bit younger, but I was 10 years old. I saw Back to the Future in the movie theater.
That's right, 85. Was it kind of surreal to be on these sets that are basically set in your childhood?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. They're phones and stuff. And
that's right, yeah. Do you have to explain to the kids what some of these things are?
I did the first season when they were little tykes, I think Gaten didn't know what a phone was. A wall phone. He was like, what is that? And I was like, that's a wall phone. What's wrong with you? And then he cried.
Because you can bring the hammer down, as you said. Well, I want to thank you so much for being here. I want to thank you guys for being a great audience.
I can't wait for you guys to see this.
Before we go, I just want to let everyone know that the SAG-AFTRA Foundation is a nonprofit that offers a vital safety net to performing artists all around the country. They're a really great organization. You can subscribe to their YouTube channel to see lots of conversations like this one. In fact, there's one of you on there that everybody should check out. Do you remember doing this?
Don't check that out. I don't know what I said. I'm sure I said, I can't think of another show. I'm sure I started one sentence like that. And when you see that, I want you to laugh. Point and laugh.
In addition, the foundation produces a children's literacy program called Storyline Online, where actors volunteer their time to read to children online. So please take a look at their programs. We're going to look at a quick reel sort of talking about them. And then we are going to go to the Upside Down. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy the show. Enjoy it.